It's time to set up my planners for the month of October. Hey guys, I'm Tracy and I want to welcome you back to my channel. And yes, it is time for a monthly reset. But I'm not going to be doing goal setting in this video. I've already done that in another video because I did fourth quarter goals as well as October goals. So check that video out if you are interested. I will have it linked down in the description box. But we are going to kind of do a check-in with the planners, like are they working? Because I've been kind of playing around with how I use some of them. And I do want to give you a check-in. Plus, we are going to do some setups of the monthly calendars as well as some budget pages. So we will get that done today. But I kind of wanted to let you know what to expect. First, this is my fitness and wellness planner. This is the Passion Planner Daily Planner. This is now a new one because there are only quarterly and we're starting a new quarter, so I did have to switch planners. I already did some decorating. I don't know that I'm gonna be decorating this all the time, but I wanted to like at least decorate the first few pages. But I will be going over how I set this up at the end, just in case you're interested, because I did do a few things differently than the last time, including how I'm going to be using my monthly calendar. It should be really a quick chat, but I really need to chat about all of these guys. So first things first, these two planners are my catch-all planner. So this is my daily, this is my weekly. This has been in my lineup since the beginning of the year. It's still working well. I have, like, I would say for the past 3 or 4 months, kind of gone back and forth with how I've been using it. For most of the year, for at least the first half of the year, this was my breakdown of my daily activities. So I had my weekly overview, which had all my appointments and things like that. And then when you got down to the nitty-gritty of what I needed to do that day, that went in my daily planner. They're just, even in a disc-bound system, there just felt like there wasn't enough room to write all of that in there. So I wrote that in here. I also broke down my days by the hours and stuff like that too. So I had to-do lists as well as a breakdown per hour, like my work schedule, any types of like dinners with friends, appointments, and things like that. So that's how things have been working. The reason why I'm not showing you is because it does have work stuff in there. So, you know, unfortunately that does limit me as far as doing flip throughs. But I've done some setups and I've showed you how I've used it, like some weekly setups. I'll sometimes throw this one in the mix. So you can check out some of those just to see how I use all the planners. But then the past few months, especially when I introduced this planner into my lineup, which I introduced in August, I think it was. Is that when I introduced it? Yeah, August was the first month that I introduced this planner into the lineup. So I moved from the disc-bound to this. I just wanted to try it out, you know. Sometimes you just want to try out something new. This is an hourly vertical. And it's really tiny, but I was like, okay, it has the hours. I wonder if instead of like breaking apart my day in here, if I could break it apart a little bit more in here. So it doesn't just provide me a weekly overview. It is kind of giving me some of that daily breakdown too. That way, maybe I can use some of the space in here for more like journaling, writing about the day that doesn't appear on my to-do list. Like not like journaling as in how I feel or things like that. Still talking about the day and what I did that day, but things that aren't necessarily captured in a to-do list or on a calendar. So I kind of wanted to move in that direction because that's kind of really what I want to do next year. So I was trying to test it out. Now I did like doing it the times that I was able to do it in here. However, this is just really small. The lines are really small. So for me, with someone with like larger handwriting, I don't like writing things and like the lines that are right under each other. Like I would like to have at least a space in between. It just looks cluttered and hard to read. And most of my appointments and stuff will have to go down on 2 lines because I just can't fit it on 1 line just because of the size of my handwriting. And then while I like having the to-dos because I really found that they were helpful, they really helped me when I went to go break it down for the daily. I just feel like it does take away some of the space that I would need for the days. So it just has not been working that well. So, you know, I tried it as a weekly overview for August and September, but I do think I'm going to move away from it. It's not going away altogether. You guys just won't see it. I think what I want to do is like just jot down schedules in advance for this. So this will kind of be almost like a pre-planner. So I'll just sloppily write in here, like, I need to go ahead and date it. I've dated it for the entire month of October. I have nothing this week, but like I want to go ahead and date it for the rest of the year. So that way, if there's something that's on November the 26th, I can just go ahead and just sloppily write it in here, almost like a Post-it note type thing. So that way, when I go to set up my weeks, I have this already kind of jotted down. I just feel like it's a better way to keep things so I don't forget it, because Post-its don't work great for me. They end up getting lost, and notebooks don't work well for me because they're not like organized by date. So I end up not really paying attention to the things, even if there's a date beside it. So I think that's how I'm going to use this. I think it is necessary. I just don't think it's going to be something that's going to take up much time. So if it's like a super busy week, then I might not touch that at all. But I do need a weekly overview. So that's where I'm going to use my goals planner. This was my goals / project planner. However, because I'm so busy with work for the next few months, I think projects are not going to be as rampant as that. Plus, I think I could fit my projects in here if I need to, which when I say projects, like creative projects, things like that. Like if I'm working on a memory keeping book, I can like pencil that in, and then I write down all of the tools that I need or things that I need to consider. And then I can backtrack and figure out what days I need to get those materials or things like that too. Home projects are also going here. I think I could still do that, but I definitely want to use this more as my weekly overview. So now these two are becoming my catch-alls for at least the rest of the year. It just gives me the opportunity to try out different planners for different purposes as well. So it's not a bad thing. Like I said, I was already using this planner, so it's not like I'm adding a new planner to my lineup or anything like that. I'm keeping everything. I'm just kind of switching things around. And if I find that I need space for project planning, I could easily just do that in here. This would be more than enough space for that. So this is probably where it will end up going. Unless I have room in here, then I would like to keep it in one place. So with that said, I'm going to set up the calendar for the month of October in here. I already have some things penciled in, so I can refer to that. There are blank pages in the back here, which I had done my goal, like my focus areas and goals and things like that, before I moved into the MäksēLife. I'm going to do my budget pages here. At first I was thinking about doing them here, but there's only like 8 or so pages. And I may have ordered another one of these because I really like it. Okay, yeah, I did order another one. So I might be able to take these pages out and put them in that planner. Oh, yeah. So I want to do my budget tracking in here now because these pages can't be removed, so I might as well use them. So we'll do that today. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. I'm probably going to speed up the decorating, but I definitely want to do some Halloween stuff. I'm not going to do all Halloween, all October, I don't think. You never know. But I want to do some of this, especially some of the paper ones in here. Because I can't really do paper ones and some of the other ones. It adds too much thickness. So, that's so pretty. All right, so when it comes to paper, we have this one and we have this one. I think we're going to do this one. So I think we'll just do this one. It's so pretty. It's like, oh no, I don't want to use my stickers. I do need to date these, don't I? Yes, I do. I do not like Sunday start, so we need to change that as well. I think I've redated this one already. So I have not been in here this week at all. Okay, Wednesday's the 1st. Aren't there like fun things in here? Ooh, I can do those. Thought they were pumpkins. You know what? I don't want to stick stickers on here for all the dates. Nope, I do not. Let's do purple. Is this purple? No, that's not purple. I'm going to just date it by hand. Just looking at all those numbers, I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I need to change the month. I mean, the days of the week, not the months. Let's see. I should have plenty of those, right? I don't use those very often. I've been using the monthlies more. Let's do pink because it looks like I haven't used that here. All right, so I, still messed up with the redating. Had to use the white out, but that's okay. It is done. So there we go. I just looking at all of those numbers, I'm like, I do not want to redate with stickers. Like, that's just way too many. I don't want to put down 31 little tiny stickers. So now I'm just going to go ahead, throw some actual decorative stickers on the page. I'm going to have to be a little like smart with this. So I need to make sure I have room. So I started putting stickers down because I was really excited, but then I realized I really need to pencil in where all of my like important reminders need to go. And the types of reminders I put in here are now going to be color coded by category, which is the same thing I was doing in my other planner. So I'm going to have one color for all work related type things, one color for personal, and the personal is going to be any types of appointments, whether or not they're medical appointments or appointments like dinners or anything like that. They're all going to be the same color. Then I did create a different one for social media type stuff. So any new releases or PR related stuff. And then finally a finance one. That is going to be the one that's going to be mostly on here because it's all the bill due dates and things of that nature. So I wanted to go ahead and pencil in slots for that. When I say pencil in, use my mile liner to do like a little highlight mark. I will come in after the fact and then handwrite everything in. It's just easier for me to do one big setup and then come back and write it in later. Now, with that said, I do have to leave a little bit of space in between weeks 3 and 4 because I know I have something that Wednesday or Thursday and one of those weeks work related, but it was on my phone and I was filming on my phone. So I wasn't sure which date it was. And I was like, I'll just hold off and I will go lightly around those areas with the stickers so that way I can come in later with the mile liner and add in the appointment that I have for work. But that is pretty much the gist of how I'm utilizing this particular planner. So the pen will get added later, but you can see where the pen is going for the most part. But I do have to be conservative with the stickers just because you just never know what's going to pop up later on in the month. And I'm going to need to add more to this. So that's pretty much it. I'm pretty much done. I'm just going to be adding a little bit of mild liners to the sidebar and a few more stickers. And then I'm calling this one done. So definitely a little simplistic because I'm going to have to add things to it. And I know that because now this is going to be my kind of catch-all main reference planner. So I need to add things to it. The things that have highlighters and stuff, that's what I know that needs to be there. So I don't have anything in spaces yet that I'm unsure of. So things will get added as time goes on. I did add the color code over here for to-dos per those subject categories because there are a few things that I already know of that I need to do this month related to both my finances, personal, and then a few things with work. I don't really capture much of that in here on this calendar, but I might need to capture some. So that is all I'm going to do in here. Now I'm going to move to here and I'm going to set up some budget pages. Or let me check that. Let's not call it budget pages. Let's call it finance trackers. All right, so we're just going to keep things simple here. I'm probably just going to draw some boxes and call it a day from that. We'll just stick with the purple because that's what I have. All right, y'all, here we go. So this is it. This is all I do for my finance tracking. I really don't budget very often. Sometimes I will set parameters for my spending. I guess that's budgeting, but I'm not doing that this month. I probably should, but yeah, I'm just not because I know I wouldn't follow it. But basically in these like long categories here, this is where I'm going to write down my actual expenses. So I'm gonna write the date, the place, and then the amount. And that's just to make sure that I'm recording everything and I'm not skipping something. If it's associated with a recurring payment or an expense like my massage appointments and things like that, I'm not putting that in here because I already have that tracked elsewhere. So for like those types of expenses, it's kind of already taken out of my check mentally. So like I know what I have left over. And that's where all of these things come from. So I have groceries and gas, then semi-essentials. Anything medical related will probably go here because most of my medical related stuff like prescriptions, doctor's appointments are being covered by my flex spending card at the moment. So I don't have any other out of pockets because again, that technically comes out of my paycheck. Then I have crafts and then a girl with plans and then Amazon because Prime days are this month. And you know, even though some of the stuff I get, it's probably the same price it would be off of Prime days. It's just because it says Prime days next to it. I think it's a deal and I buy it. Then we have your regular non-essentials and then like a catch-all category. Obviously, I have more pages to write some more stuff if I need to throughout the month. And then I'm going to write my totals here for each of the categories. Some of them I've even broken up a little bit further. So like home and other, because there are some essentials you have to buy for the house. Things like that. Like for example, last month I had to buy paint or something like that. I consider that like an essential because I need it. I really did have to buy the paint. I had to paint a Prime door so it would stay under warranty. So that was an essential. So that's like a home essential. Paper towels, stuff like that is what probably would go there because I wouldn't be buying it probably from a grocery store. I'd be buying it from like Sam's Club or something. So that's kind of how I do my budgeting. So my budget section is now set up. Like I said, all of my like sloppy Post-it notes plans are going to go here. All of my other plans will go here. We will probably be doing some weekly setups. I probably will be playing around with the setup the first week, so I'll probably bring you along for the second week. Yeah, and then really quickly how I set up my wellness planner. So I did write goals and stuff in the back. They are pretty much the same goals that I've had for the last like 4 or 5 months. I did, say I want to work out 5 days a week. I have not worked out hardly any days for the month of September, but I'm going strong. I'm just going to say 5 a week. And then I had some other things that I need to do as far as like stretching because of my neck pain and stuff like that. And then I wrote some nutrition type goals as well, mainly dealing with meal prep and trying to get a little bit better with the meal planning as far as maybe actually making some recipes instead of just simplistic stuff. Okay, and then here what I did is I decided to use this more as a tracker. So in my last quarter's passion planner, I kind of did it as a tracker. Like I would write when I had a migraine or something like that on here. But I kind of wrote the workout I did, like legs, upper, or something like that. I really want to track things here, like check things off. Some of it, like the top row is more accountability purposes. So these are a lot of the goal related stuff like working out, stretching, using my massage gun, things like that. The bottom row is more for like I don't have neck and shoulder pain. I probably need to do one for migraine. And then if on Friday the 3rd, I check one of those off, I'll come here to Friday the 3rd and then read the notes about it. So it's almost like an index or something like that as well. So that's how I plan on using this. I'm very excited about this for some reason, and I don't know why I hadn't been doing this previously because it seems very simplistic, and it's not like I have to come in here every single day to check things off. I hope I come in here every single day because I really want to fill in all of this stuff every day. But let's just say I did miss a day. I can just come back and do the day before. Now, on the back page here, I'll show you what it looks like. There's these self check-ins. So like what's on your mind, memorable moments, accomplishments, how I've grown. And then you have this month's game changer goal. So for one goal, obviously I did my goals in the back. So I changed all of this out. There's 5 weeks in the month of October this month. There's 5 weeks this month. So So I just did week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and then week 5 over here. And then I just put stickers over some of this. And this is where I'm going to plan my workouts. So I'm going to like sit down probably like tomorrow or Sunday and plan what actual workouts I want to do that week. Like I'm going to go through my apps and pick the actual workout so I can just go to that specific workout each day. And I'm just going to list them here. So that's where I'm doing my workout planning now. My meal planning is going to be on my on-the-go planner, which I am not setting up this week. I'm not doing like a weekly spread. I'm using it more as a notebook. So I just use the blank pages to do my meal planning, grocery list, and then any other notes while I'm out and about. So that's why that's not making an appearance today. But there we go, guys. So that is my monthly reset, mostly setting up my calendar in here. Like I said, there really isn't much to set up here. I had been using the calendar. I think I used the calendar in August. Did I use the calendar in August? I don't know. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I just kind of jotted some stuff down. So I don't know if I'm even going to use this in in October or not. But we'll see. I don't know why I said August. September I used it, but I just jotted some quick stuff down. So we'll see how I use this, the calendar. But because I'm moving into this as my weekly overview, I decided to use the calendar there. So I was like, let's just use it. Plus I can add stickers and not have to worry about it bulking up. So yeah, I had to think for a moment. There we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed kind of just hearing me ramble about how some of these aren't working, how I'm changing things around to hopefully make them work better. You know, just testing out a few things, trying to like see what style of planning is working best for me as we head into the new year, so I can kind of make those good decisions about what planners I want to use, right? So I'm testing out all the things, trying different ways. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please press that like button. And if you have yet to subscribe, I hope you would also consider subscribing to my channel. That's all I have for now. I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.